The healthcare industry in Kentucky says they're currently facing an unsustainable level of staffing shortages. How many shortages exactly? Well, the Kentucky Hospital Association says there are more than 13,000 vacancies across Kentucky in the healthcare field. Half of those are nursing positions. Other states who've had the same issues have seen their hospitals limit or even close services altogether. Adding to the issue is that hospitals are struggling with capacity, and a study has shown that there's about a 10% increase in the average length of a hospital stay now. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says he's returned $15 million to Kentucky that had been invested by the previous administration. When Governor Matt Bevin was in office, his administration made a $15 million investment in an aluminum mill in northeastern Kentucky. Unfortunately, that never materialized, and so that investment is being returned back to Kentucky through the Kentucky Economic Development Finance Authority. I'm Joe Mathis.
Hi, Cliff Ed Irvin again. The youth are indeed our future. We are proud to support our young people in sports, school, church, and other activities. Irvin Group Realtors and Auctioneers, we understand the importance of a home buying or selling decision. We greatly appreciate and support those who make this community our home as well. No one sells it better. Irvin Group, supporting the Golden Lions and your community for over 50 years.
The Irvin Group Realtors and Auctioneers, no one sells it better.
It's 6:05.
The WHIR weather forecast is brought to you by Dexter and Reitmeyer Insurance, your local independent insurance agency, proudly representing Auto Owners Insurance Company. Call Mark Dexter or Chris Reitmeyer for a free quote.
Increasing clouds tonight with late night scattered showers, low around 49. 30% chance of showers all day tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high 62. Saturday night, 30% chance of showers, mostly cloudy, low 51. Chance of showers on Sunday.
Presented by Zaxby's Chicken on the Bypass in Danville. Good evening. Welcome to week number 5 of the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show as we are live from Bullitt East High School here in Mount Washington, Kentucky for tonight's Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show. Joe Mathis here in the press box, the visitor side press box of Bullitt East High School. This is Mike Egan Field, and we'll talk about that as we go throughout this broadcast. And joined in joined in the press box. I'm used to saying studio. Joined in the press box by Liam Tomlinson. Liam, the intern. Liam, what's going on?
Not much. Just excited for some Friday Night Lights. Back at it after bye week.
Yeah, the bye week last week. And this is actually a place I've never been in my life. Not only have I never been to Bullitt East High School, I have never been to Mount Washington as far as I know. So I actually have a list, like legitimately a typed out list on my computer at work of all the places that I've called high school football games at because I want to make sure I keep track of them. So I can add Bullitt East High School to that list after tonight, unless I just walk out and leave before kickoff. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to add Bullitt East High School to that list tonight. Nice little setup they have here. They have a visitor side press box. They have the home press box. And this is a big 6A school. And Danville travels to Bullitt East tonight to take on the Chargers in their final game before district play starts next week. That is one of 5 games that we are keeping track of tonight here on the Hometown Radio Network. 3 of them specifically on our Hometown Radio Network stations. Again, Danville at Bullitt East. That's a 7:30 kickoff tonight on 103.9 FM WHIR. Mercer County is at Western Hills, so they will have their second district game of the year. That game at Western Hills. They're in Frankfort, 7:30 kickoff on 99.5 FM WHBN. Garrard County travels down to McCreary Central, 7:30 kickoff on Z105, and 2 other games involving area teams. Tell you what, Casey County, if I just freely went to any game that I could, of course I do the Danville game, so I follow them around and do their broadcast, but if I could just freely go to any game, I may want to travel down to Liberty tonight to watch Casey County to see if they can win their 6th in a row. And I was able to watch Casey County in the second game of the year when they played at the Whitaker Bank Pigskin Classic at Danville, and they've got some great players on that team, and they're a quarter away versus Rockcastle County for being unbeaten. So they're looking for their 6th win in a row tonight. They're taking on Wayne County, and Jeffersontown is at Anderson County tonight. That is the final non-district game for Anderson County. That is a 5A school in J-Town, so a chance for Anderson County to beat a team of a higher class. Boyle County is on bye tonight. They're off. They will resume their season next week against Lexington Catholic, and Lincoln County is on a bye tonight as well. As always, the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show is brought to you by Zaxby's Chicken on the bypass in Danville. I went by there earlier today. I got my typical thing, so I've done my part. I've got my boneless wings and things and nuclear sauce with extra nuclear sauce, Liam. So I did my thing. I know you're a big Zaxby's fan.
Huge Zaxby's fan.
Yes, love the Zax sauce there, the spicy Zax sauce. So I did what I needed to do. So any area team that loses or may lose tonight, you can't blame me. I got my meal in and did my thing. We appreciate Zaxby's for being the title sponsor of the show. And if you like the show, we appreciate the kind words. But make sure that you go to Zaxby's and pull out a $100 bill and order everything that you can for $100 and try to eat it all. And when they say, how much are you going to order? You can tell them, I don't know, but I love the Zaxby show so much, I want to order as much as I can for $100. And they'll look at you and they'll say, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir, but it sounds good to me.
Do you think you can get the whole menu for $100?
Ooh, probably. I don't know.
Close?
So they have like the 3-finger, the 4-finger, and the 5-finger. So if you just do one right?
Let's
say one of each item, you may be able to. The $100 Zaxby's challenge, we should make that a thing.
We might have to try it next week.
We have to try it next week. You got the 100 on you? You're a college student. You got the 100 on you?
I just got that boot on my car.
You just got a boot put on your car yesterday because you went and watched the Bengals and parked somewhere you shouldn't never park too long. So you got the boot put on your car. So maybe in a couple of weeks when the next paycheck comes in or something like that.
Might be more than a couple weeks.
Okay, well, we'll have the $100 Zaxby's Challenge coming up here at some point. We do have the high school fantasy football draft as well. We've got week number 5 of the high school fantasy football draft. We'll have week number 5 of Packett's Picks on top of that. And we'll talk Danville at Bullitt East tonight on the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show live from Mount Washington, Kentucky, right here on the Hometown Radio Network on 103.9 FM WHIR, 99.5 FM WHBN, and online at hometownlive.net.
ADA is on the way.
It's Chastity at ADA Heating and Air. Contacting us just got easier. Check us out online at adaheatingandair.com to get information on services and products we offer, schedule service, set up an estimate. You can even fill out a credit application for financing and let us know how we did with our satisfaction survey. Call us at 859-519-6382.
ADA Heating and Air. ADA is on the way.
Isaiah House provides holistic substance abuse treatment to help recovering addicts achieve sobriety for a lifetime.
We know what that struggle is. We know how bad that is. We know all the damage and the chaos that we created in the past. But the important part is we can show them the solution.
Kentucky Medicaid accepted for treatment. Call Isaiah House Treatment Center today, 859-375-9200. Isaiah House Treatment Center, real hope for addiction.
Here at Zaxby's, we have perfectly paired all of our sauces to go with our hand-breaded chicken fingers. Seriously, it's science. Each flavor profile is in perfect harmony with each other. The crisp, zesty notes of honey mustard, the full, rounded, bold flavor of buffalo garlic blaze, the elegant, spicy smoke of Tug Torch, all the perfect pair to our famous chicken fingers. Test them out for yourself and grab some extra napkins. Select one from our 12 sauce options. There's endless sauce abilities, only at Zaxby's.
Car Express Wash invites you to save money and help our local charities through Halloween every Saturday night from 7 p.m. till 10. Charity gets 25% and tips. This Saturday, it's the Centenary United Methodist Youth Group, The Rock.
Hi, this is Jenny at Car Express Car Wash. I want to announce that we are doing Suds and Screams. This is the area's only for charity car wash. Come on out. It will be a scream. Don't drive dirty.
Car Express Wash. Don't drive dirty.
Danville Bypass, Big Blue Building.
Live from Bullitt East High School, it is the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show, and Danville traveling to Mount Washington tonight to take on Bullitt East in this 2A versus 6A matchup. This was a game they played last year. This was actually Danville's first loss of the year when they played last year, and I was looking at the schedule yesterday, and I remember it now, but didn't remember it before I looked at the schedule. Danville started off the year winning 2 in a row, then had back-to-back games canceled because of COVID, and then beat North Hardin, if I remember correctly, then lost to Bullitt East. So it took, 5 or 6 weeks into the season for Danville to suffer what was technically their first loss. Now, they were saddled with losses to Mercer and Boyle County because they were considered COVID forfeits, and Danville was the one who forfeited the game because of COVID. But in terms of actually losing the game, that didn't happen until they played Bullitt East at this point last season. This is a team that has, this Bullitt East team, that has area connections. They're led by head coach Keegan Kendrick. Keegan was a former player at Boyle County High School. He graduated in 2012, I believe it was. So my first year working at the radio station would have been Keegan Kendrick's. No, sorry, he would have graduated before I started working at the station. So fall 2012 was my first football season working at the station. He would have graduated in spring of 2012. But he was the offensive coordinator here at Bullitt East High School under former head coach Ethan Atchley. That's another name that should be familiar for Admiral fans. Ethan Atchley was the head coach at LCA when Danville and LCA had a lot of really good battles back about 5 or 6 years ago. Atchley, though, kind of resigned abruptly. He went to Frankfort, took the job at Frankfort High School, which left Bullitt East opening there. And Keegan Kendrick was named the new Bullitt East coach at some point last year. So this his first year as the Bullitt East head coach. He graduated in 2013, Kendrick did. He's not the only familiar name for Bullitt East on their coaching staff. He also has Lloyd Hall on his coaching staff. Lloyd Hall played at Center College. You know Lloyd Hall, Liam?
Pretty sure he was a Phi Delta.
May have been. I have no idea what fraternity he was in. Are you a Phi Delta?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can go down there and give him the Phi Delta handshake after the game's over. But he played at Center College, played at Boyle County, and he is an assistant coach at Bullitt East as well. So got a couple of Boyle County connections there on the coaching staff. These two teams, Danville and Bullitt East, have history. They played in the 1994 state championship game. They played last year, obviously, but the biggest game they played, that 1994 state championship game, that was a game Danville won 39-7. Danville scored the first 39 points of that game, led Bullitt East 39-0 in the fourth quarter of that 1994 state championship game. Bullitt East came back and scored late in that game to make it 39-7. At that point, that was Danville's 7th state championship. Danville obviously won 4 more since then. They've got 11. So in terms of games they played, Danville, Bullitt East, they played some big ones before, that 1994 state championship being the biggest one. But to show you kind of how the family bloodline runs deep here at Bullitt East, that 1994 state championship game, they were led by a coach named Mike Egan. Phenomenal head coach at Bullitt East. They have the field named after him. This is Mike Egan Field. So tonight they'll be playing on Mike Egan Field. Mike Egan, he's the head coach in 94. His son is Brandon Egan. Brandon Egan was the quarterback in 1994 for that state championship game. He threw the lone touchdown pass for Bullitt East. Brandon Egan's son is Travis Egan, who is the Bullitt East quarterback right now. And that is a great place to start off with Travis Egan and this Bullitt East offense, because this offense is phenomenal when you look at what they can do offensively. This is a shotgun spread team that will stay in that formation for most of this game. They're going to go spread. Now, Coach Peach has said they will go double tight wishbone at some points, maybe when they need a yard, when they're on the goal line, whatever it may be. But for the most part, this is going to be a shotgun spread team. This offense was pretty really shaky week 1 versus Spencer County. They scored only 16 points versus Spencer County, but since that game, Bullitt East has averaged 45.5 points per game, and their average margin of victory is just over 33 points per game. This was a top 5 scoring offense in all of 6A last year, and they only played 12 games. So you had a handful of teams who played 13 games, would have lost in the quarterfinals. 4 teams that would have played 14 games, 2 teams played 15 games. But even just with 12 games, they were a top 5 scoring offense in Class 6A. So, we know this offense is very good. Make no mistake about it, though, offensively speaking, this is a team that is led by their quarterback. That's Travis Egan. Since that season opening loss, this offense has put up ridiculous numbers, and Travis Egan has as well. Since that loss, the last 4 games they played, 71% completion percentage for Travis Egan, 906 yards, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's also ran for 4 more touchdowns. So when you talk about the offense and the way it cooks and the way it runs, it's going to run through their quarterback, Travis Egan. Phenomenal player.
Yeah, when I was looking at the stats prior to the game, leading rusher, leading passer, I believe. I mean, obviously, passer's quarterback. But
yeah, his second leading rusher. Mason Gauthier is their leading rusher. But, in terms of, what they do, he can beat you with the legs. He can beat you, obviously, through the air. He's their quarterback, and he does everything for them offensively.
Yeah, he's a spark plug.
Yes, certainly is. Out of the 238 plays that Bullitt East has run this year, Travis Egan has been involved in more than 63% of them, 121 pass attempts and 30 rushing attempts. So 63% of the plays, he's either passing or he's running. And out of the 2,012 total yards they have this year as a team, he's accounted for nearly 70% of their entire total offense when you look at yards. They put the ball in his hands. They let him make plays. And it's hard to blame them for that because he's such a good player when he has the ball in his hands, which he's the quarterback. He has it in his hands every play. But when he's the one making the plays, good things typically happen. This is not a real tricky offense, though. And what I mean by that is what you see is what you get. And what you get really is 3, maybe 4 playmakers total, right? They're not a team that has a bunch of different guys that are going to run the football tonight unless the score gets out of hand, which we hope it doesn't, or a bunch of different guys that are going to catch passes from them. They get the ball to their best playmakers, and they let their best playmakers do what they should do, make plays. Travis Egan, their quarterback, we talked about him. Mason Gauthier, their running back, and their wide receivers, their wideouts, Nolan Davenport and Cameron Brogan. Those are the 4 guys to keep an eye on. We already talked about Egan, so let's talk about Mason Gauthier very quickly. When you add Mason Gauthier into the mix, he's their running back, and he destroyed Danville last year, ran for 230 yards and 4 touchdowns on him, I think. When you add him into the mix, Gauthier and Egan have combined for 72% of all the rushing attempts and 905 of all the rushing yards this year, which is just over 1,100 yards. So they're the guys that are running the football, and certainly Mason Gauthier is the main cog in that backfield. In the receiving game, Davenport and Brogan account for more than half of all the receptions and 68% of the receiving yards and 11 of their 14 receiving touchdowns. So it's 4 guys. It's Egan, it's Gauthier, it's Davenport, it's Brogan. And, there are other guys that are going to be out there. But, in terms of the guys making plays, those are the 4 guys you're going to have to stop tonight, Liam, if Danville's going to have a chance to win.
Yeah. Well, obviously you got to start with stopping the quarterback.
Yes, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. He's the main guy to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. The game plan for the defense sounds simple, right? You got to stop one of the 4 guys. It's a lot easier said than done, right? That's why they're 4-1 or 5-1, I guess, through the first 6 games of the year, because they're a really good team. But if you can only pick one to shut down, which one would you pick? And I think the answer is going to be Travis Egan. He'd be the guy that you want to shut down.
103.9 and AM 1230, News Talk Sports, WHIR.
Thank you, Sean Hannity. He just couldn't help himself. He had to be on the air with us. I didn't realize Sean Hannity, big fan of the Zaxby show. But if you have to pick one, Travis Egan's the guy that you're going to want to hold down. Spencer County played Bullitt East here to begin their season. It's the only loss Bullitt East has this year. They beat them 19-16. They held Travis Egan to 53% passing. He threw 3 interceptions. They sacked him twice. They put pressure on him, and they were able to get guys in his face. There was a day where Mason Gauthier still ran for 110 yards on just 11 carries, right? So he averaged about 10 yards a carry in his own regard. It was 10 yards a carry. So, he did really well. He did what he should do, but Travis Egan had issues and trouble getting the ball out to receivers. Spencer County had guys in his face. He struggled, and because he struggled, Bullitt East struggled, and Spencer County was able to hold them to 16 points and beat them 19-16. So, Liam, as you said, if you can, and it's a lot easier for me to say it than it be done.
Sounds
right?
like a simple strategy.
Yeah,
Just
simple
stop the
strategy. If Coach Peach is listening to me tonight, just stop the quarterback. I mean, that's all it
you gotta
is.
do.
I mean, come on now. But if they can do that, it obviously gives them a great chance to win. And Spencer County was able to do that. But Spencer County has had a great season to begin their year as well on top of it. So, again, it's going to be tough to do. We'll see if Danville can at least give themselves a chance tonight and stop Travis Egan when he has the ball in his hands. Defensively for Bullitt East, this is a 4-man front that will change. They'll rotate a little bit. They're going to run some 4-3. They're going to run some 4-4. And it's nothing that Danville hasn't seen this year. They've seen both of those defensive fronts. Boyle County obviously is known for running that 4-4 defense. They rotate in. They'll run 4-3 as well. So that's nothing that Danville hasn't seen. I'm not sure we should use the Boyle County game as an explanation or an illustration for the defense because Danville didn't play all that great that game, but I'm just saying they've seen the 4-3 and 4-4 defense, so that's not going to be something that's going to surprise them too much. So, we'll see what happens here tonight. I will say this is Bullitt East homecoming, so I don't know if that's as much of a slap in the face anymore as it used to be. Like, you almost just have to pick a week and just make it homecoming, right? And why would you blame Bullitt East? They beat them 63-14 last year, or 62-13. So I don't blame them making Danville their homecoming game. But I never thought there would be a time where Danville would be someone's homecoming game. But the way things went last year, I don't blame them for making Danville their homecoming game.
Yeah, especially with them being a 6A school now,
Yes.
and Danville not being the top dog in 2A as much anymore.
Yeah, and you look at it, you beat them. You put up 48 unanswered on them last year. If you remember back to last year, this was a game that was 14-13 at the end of the first quarter. Danville was trailing by 1. After that, Bullitt East scored 48 unanswered on the Admirals and beat them 62-13 in that game last season. So, you look at what happened last year, certainly Bullitt East is going to have confidence. Danville has lost 3 games in a row. The game 2 weeks ago against Atherton is one to forget about when they were up 21-7 and gave up 34 unanswered points. But hopefully the bye week came at the right time for them. I will say this, I interview the players and the coaches and Coach Peach every Thursday. And every Thursday when I'm in the coach's office and I'm talking to the players, they're saying all the right things, right? Like, they're saying we still believe that we have a chance to do some stuff in Class 2A. None of them are ever hanging their heads. They're always very attentive when they're watching film. So, it's just about putting the results on the football field right now. And it's going to be tough tonight against the 6A school that's really good, right? Like, they could schedule the Sisters of the Poor, as Radio Rick would say, and win 45-0 if they wanted to. But it's tough when people see the Danville on the jersey. They're going to have a tough time scheduling opponents that are going to be closer to their class. So you find a 6A school, it gives Danville a chance in a road atmosphere against a good team like you may see in the playoffs later on. And who knows, maybe you come out here. If you do snag a win, I tell you what, that would vastly improve the RPI because Danville's, I think, 24th in the RPI right now. You beat a 6A school, which Danville was able to do last year when they beat North Hardin. That win over North Hardin is one of the reasons why Danville was number 4 in RPI last year. The win over North Hardin, the win over Whitley County later on in the season. So Danville still has Whitley County left. They have Bullitt East left. So 2 more chances to improve the RPI against some bigger class schools. At HTR Joe on Twitter, we'll step aside. We'll come back, and we'll give you week number 5 of the Danville Family Dentistry High School Fantasy Football Draft. We'll also have Packett's Picks coming up after this on the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show live from Mount Washington High School. Not Washington. Not Mount Washington, Kentucky, Bullitt East High School. I'll figure it out eventually. We ended up at the right place. I made a wrong turn at one point, but we ended up at the right place. So we're here, and we've got the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show right here in the Hometown Radio Network back right after this.
Lee's Famous Recipe of Danville is honored to have served this community since 1972. They're excited to announce they are offering even more $5.99 lunch specials. Choose from Lee's 2-piece breast strip, 2-piece dark chicken, chicken slider, or a barbecue chicken sandwich. All specials come with a side of your choice along with a regular drink and an apple pie or cookie. Wednesday's Customer Appreciation Day. Come on in and ask for the Wednesday special. 3 pieces of Famous Crispy or strips, 2 sides of your choice, and a hot buttermilk biscuit. All just $1.40 off the regular price. Don't feel like cooking tonight? Try one of their family meals. They come in options of 8, 12, 16, or 20-piece selections with your choice of sides. They specialize in catering, so if you need to cater a wedding, office party, funeral, birthday party, or any other special event, call them at 859-236-8777, 236-8777 for a free quote. Let them do all the work for you. They're located at 610 South 4th Street. Drive through or come on in. Lee's Famous Recipe, serving the best chicken in Danville for over 40 years.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Danville Family Dentistry, we're all about you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Neal at Danville Family Dentistry. We can all agree life is busy and our days are full. Don't let getting a dental appointment be part of the stress. Call us at 236-2488 and let us help keep your smile beautiful and healthy. We are open 5 days a week to accommodate your schedule. At Danville Family Dentistry, we are all about you. We are located at 132 North 2nd Street. Again, that's Danville Family Dentistry, 236-2488.
With a little love.
Good evening. Welcome to week number 5 of the Danville Family Dentistry High School Fantasy Football Draft. We're in studio with Radio Rick, who is sitting down to my right. Rick, how are you?
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Team Center Communications.
Hey, Joe.
Almost got me. Almost slipped up.
Almost.
Team Center Communications. Team Harrodsburg Mercer County Tourist Commission.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, what's going on?
Just down here at Oktoberfest in Harrodsburg.
Wow.
Yeah.
You having fun?
Yeah, having a great time.
You throwing some back?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Need you completely sober-minded for the fantasy draft. Mr. Packett's on the telephone. Mr. Packett, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Glad to have you on. And I'm in
Oxford, Mississippi.
Down in Oxford, Mississippi to watch the Cats and Ole Miss.
Hey.
Tomorrow.
Sorry, Packett, but Joe, let me be the first to congratulate you on your Excellence in Broadcasting Award at the KBA Awards.
Thank you, Matt. That's very nice of you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, Joe. That is awesome.
Derek, thank you. What a week we had in high school fantasy football this week, and some records were set, some records were broken, some records were reset, all in the same week. And let's talk about this. And it starts off with the first matchup was Radio Rick versus myself. And we'll start off with Radio Rick, who actually I drafted 1 last week. Rick drafted 2nd. I went Montaven Quisenberry number 1. Rick went Ethan Willoughby number 2. Ethan Willoughby put up 50.3 points for Rick last week. 236 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 113 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 2-point conversion. 50.3 points. So you put him along with Gunnar Floyd, the Casey County receiver. So Rick had the Rebel stack of Casey County. I had the Rebel stack of Boyle County. And it was the Casey County Rebel stack that really did the damage. 27.3 from Gunnar Floyd. Rick also had Boyle County's defense, who had 17. You throw in the other numbers, 122.9 points for Rick last week, which is a new season high. Way to go to Radio Rick, who has scored more than anyone else has this season up to this point with 122.9 points.
Congratulations, Rick.
And you can kind of see where this matchup is going. 67.9 is what I had, so Rick destroys me by nearly 60 points, which is good for the record and good for the overall total points as well. And Rick sets a new season high in doing so. And then we get to Team Derek versus Mr. Packett. The battle of the brother-in-laws. It was a showdown we all wanted to see.
He's not in our family.
Not in the family yet.
He's knocking on a door.
Let's just start off with Mr. Packett. Remember, last week he went with all non-area players. He said, I'm going to be the first to do this, and I'm going to try to beat Derek with all non-area players. 39.6 from his quarterback, Cole Hodge. 23 from Christian Academy of Louisville's defense, which is 4 points away from an all-time record single points by defense in a single week. 22.6 from Darwin Cotton. 24.7 from Justin Ruffin. I mean, you just keep on getting 20s.
You can just stop there. I don't need to hear the rest. It's not going to be a good week for me.
151 points for Mr. Packett.
Wow.
Cue up the music. Not only is that a season high, so Rick set the season high, which was then broken by Mr. Packett, who sets not just a season high. He breaks Team Derek's all-time record for most points scored in a single season back when Derek was Team Monticello Bank in the 2017 season, I think is what it was. Derek put up like 144 points in a single week, which was the all-time record, and Mr. Packett with 151 just broke the all-time fantasy mark for most points in a single week.
Congrats, I guess.
Way to go to Mr. Packett, and let's go ahead and look at Team Derek's
I guess if we have to. Poor Derek.
Yeah.
And now that I'm looking at his numbers, they're
stop the count.
They're pretty good. You want to stop the count here, Derek? You want to hear your numbers?
Well, I don't think that's going to be reasonable to be. I don't think I'm going to beat that. So.
151, an all-time record, yeah. And again, some good players, though. Avery Bodner got you 31.8.
Yeah, so I only need like 120 more.
Good start. Mason Hibbard, who was a wide receiver for Southwestern, got you 30.9. He had two 30-point scorers, and suddenly, it's going to take a miracle, but suddenly maybe you have a fighting chance. 27.8 from Gavin Copenhaver.
Okay.
24 from Colin Burton. And things are getting tighter for Mr. Packett after he just set an all-time record. 11.8 from Denham Griffith. 10.8 from Solomon Stonebreaker. Your defense got you 8. Your kicker got you 6. If you do the math, Derek, Mr. Packett scored 151.
What, I get 149?
You scored 151.1. And Mr. Packett, who just set the all-time record, loses.
I don't believe this is right.
Is this under a protest?
Get this.
Can we get some music queued up for me?
Loses
a tenth of a point.
By 1/10 of 1 point by Team Derek, who then re-breaks the record who Mr. Packett just set in what is a new record and also the closest margin of victory. And this is as close as it'll ever be because we only do a tenth of a point. You beat him by 1/10 of 1 point for your first win of the year and set a record in the process, Derek.
Let me go turn the radio up here on Main Street down here in downtown Harrodsburg so we can say that louder for the people.
Yes, let the people at Oktoberfest hear that Team Derek breaks a record and wins.
I'll be drinking free the rest of the night.
Drinks are on the house for Team Derek. Go ahead, Mr. Packett. Fake news, he says.
Fake news.
Well, guys, it feels good up here on the top,
No, you're still at the bottom. Let's be clear.
Well, but it's all about who has the highest points ever. You're talking about ever in a week?
Yes, and now two.
Can you say that again?
I mean, you had that before this week started.
Yeah, but I lost it. I lost it for just a few minutes, and you know what? I quickly gained it back. So
Derek doesn't like his name being taken out of the record books. We'll say that.
So, again,
you know who I'm mad at?
Who?
Is the freaking cow kicker. This man was 32 of 32 on extra points. And lollygags out there beating the hopeless Titans. And he's like, I'll just kick this for the heck of it. Now, here we go. Shank City. And that, I lost because of that.
You lost because of a missed extra point.
I actually heard that it was a double doink. Hit both goalposts.
He double doinked your record away, Mr. Packett. You got double doinked out of a record.
What you didn't see me was on the sideline greasing that ball up before we went out there.
Bang, bang, and I lost because of that. That's ridiculous.
You look at the overall standings right now. Center Communications, that's Matt 3-0. Radio Rec is 2-1. Mr. Packett and myself both 1-2. Derek is 1-3.
Can you go on to the next section and read that stuff?
Yeah, let's go to the total points. Team Derek does lead, although he is...
Oh, hey, you don't need to say all those.
He'll be on bye this week.
Team Derek leads. That's all we need to stop there.
He is 8 points above Mr. Packett in the total points.
Say that again.
We expect that to flip, though, this week with you on bye and Mr. Packett not on bye.
I bet you expected him to beat me last week, and he didn't.
Team Radio Rick is in third.
No, they didn't expect me, Derek, because I refused to pick a player from any team that in this area just to show how inept you were, and you pulled a rabbit out of your hat. Congrats, loser.
Just a loser.
Oh, gosh. Team Center Communications is about 63 points down, and I'm 104 points down. I'm way down there. So we go to this week now. Team Derek is on bye this week, so he'll be picking last. We always just move up one spot. We've been doing that this year. I think the fairest way to do it. So Radio Rick gets number 1 overall. Mr. Packett picks second. Team Center Communications picks third. I will pick fourth. The Danville Family Dentistry High School Fantasy Football Draft for the first time in probably a year and a half. We turn it over to Derek. Derek, who is it brought to you by?
Danville Family Dentistry. They're all about you.
Danville Family Dentistry, we're all about you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Neal at Danville Family Dentistry. We can all agree life is busy and our days are full. Don't let getting a dental appointment be part of the stress. Call us at 236-2488 and let us help keep your smile beautiful and healthy. We are open 5 days a week to accommodate your schedule. At Danville Family Dentistry, we are all about you. We are located at 132 North 2nd Street. Again, that's Danville Family Dentistry, 236-2488.
All right, for those listening, we have 2 teams on bye this week. Lincoln County is on bye, and Boyle County is on bye, so we have added one team to fill the void. Bullitt East is the team we've added. That's who Danville is playing this week. We believe that Bullitt East is probably the best of the teams that the area teams are playing. They're a pretty good team. So we've added Bullitt East players to the list. We start off with Radio Rick, who has pick 1 in round 1.
Ethan Willoughby.
He didn't even let me finish. You got to go with the guy who scored like 50 points every week. He's going to be threatening the all-time points record this year. Ethan Willoughby will. Ethan Willoughby is off the board.
Ethan Willoughby.
He Willoughby.
He Willoughby threatening the all-time points record.
Threatening with an apostrophe, not even an ing.
Threatening.
Mr. Packett, you get a pick.
I will take Travis Egan.
Travis Egan. Mr. Packett takes the Bullitt East quarterback in his spot. Team Center Communications.
Give me Mason Gauthier.
Mason Gauthier is off the board, and I am so glad that Team Center Communications, who I am playing this week, did not take a quarterback. Because who you going with now after I take Thaddeus Mays?
We'll see.
Thaddeus Mays is off the board. I get back-to-back, by the way. Give me Thaddeus Mays and give me Malachi Simmons from Garrard County. Team Center Communications are up.
Denham Griffith.
Denham Griffith is off the board. Team Mr. Packett, you're up. You want
Maury Brown, this is crazy.
Yeah, I'm shocked that Team Center Communications did not go with Maury Brown. But you got to consider the competition. Bullitt East is a good school. Maury Brown's off the board. Radio Rick, back-to-back.
Packett, I was going to take him. I'll take Mr. Nolan Davenport.
Okay, he is a Bullitt East wide receiver. Pretty good one, too.
And I'll take Gunnar Floyd.
Nolan Davenport, Gunnar Floyd. Back to Mr. Packett, who gets a pick.
Okay. I'm looking sorry.
Derek said he was looking sorry before last week.
No, he still looks sorry. I'll take Cameron Brogan.
Cameron Brogan is a Bullitt East wide receiver, so Mr. Packett has got all Bullitt East Danville players just because he loves listening to the games on WHIR, so he knows he can keep up with the players he's drafted.
I'll be listening to one game every Friday, and that's whatever Joe's calling.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody's listening. I need to give you a shout-out during the broadcast to my one listener.
Well, you need to give a shout-out to my uncle. He's a big fan of yours, has been for years.
What is your uncle? Thank you, by the way, Uncle Harold. What did your uncle and aunt think about Derek?
I think they told you what you thought about him at my wedding several years ago.
They did. That was back when Derek was known as Mr. Nasty.
Little did they know, a few years later, their nephew would be getting beat by me in a record-breaking performance.
No, that's the other. You're not in my family, brother. No. Other side of the family.
I said
you're not welcome over here.
I didn't say I was your family.
Especially now.
I said their nephew was getting beat by me.
Being you
was getting beat by me.
Oh, I thought you said you were their nephew. I'm like, what?
No.
Cameron Brogan's off the board. Team Center Communications.
Solomon Stonebreaker.
Okay, Solomon Stonebreaker is off the board. I tell you what, if y'all going to leave Cameron Peak there, I'm going to take Cameron Peak and running back number 2 spot. I got both Garrard County running backs. What do you think they're going to do tonight against McCreary Central? Are they going to run the ball? I think they will a lot, so I'm going to
they might run the ball.
Take all the rushing points. I think Matt's feeling a little bit uncomfortable right now with how good my team is. And
I liked your team last week, Joe.
That's true, and I scored 67 points.
Yeah.
Pitiful. I need another player, and if you are going to leave Evan Stevens from Casey County there, who they going against? Wayne County? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I already said it. Whatever. Evan Stevens. is off the board. Team Center Communication.
Give me Braden Bothman.
Nice. Braden Bothman.
Gosh!
We'll go in your flex. You almost had all of Danville's rushing points, Mr. Packett. You were one pick away. I took all of Garrett's points. That would have pretty much been all of Danville's rushing points. Maybe throw Josh Bixler in there a little bit. But Braden Bothman is off the board. He goes in Matt's flex spot tonight against Bullitt East. Matt, you have the night off.
I'll be with Derek celebrating his victory
at Oktoberfest.
On the streets of Oktoberfest.
He drinks for free tonight, everybody, in Harrisburg. Derek drinks for free. Mr. Packett, you get a pick.
I'll take Ashton Drakeford.
Ashton Drakeford goes in wide receiver number 2 spot for you, Mr. P. Radio Rick, back to back it.
I will say I was having lunch with Packett's wife the other day, and she was talking trash about this matchup at lunch.
About what matchup?
Me versus Packett.
What was she? Oh, she was saying you were going to lose?
Yeah, she was talking trash.
Was this after the games had happened or before?
Yeah, but we had no clue.
You had no clue?
Yeah. Threw a roll at me across the table and just ran her mouth about how great her husband was. Just little did she know
how much greater you were.
Yes.
If we want to get into this, we can ask Joe to pick who he likes more, me or you, Derek.
Well, you were in each other's weddings, so I would assume.
How's things going, Derek?
We go all the way back to junior kindergarten.
Doing really good.
Me and Mr. Pack were in Mrs. Stamp's kindergarten class together. When he was a child, he came over to my house. I lived on Navajo Drive in the Indian Hill subdivision. I now live just right down the street from where I grew up. Mr. Packett came over as a child. We were both in kindergarten, and we were swinging on my swing set in the backyard, and we were playing something called gas bombs. We were pilots.
What, you eat beans for lunch?
No, we were kindergartners, so we were pilots in the swings, right? And I jumped off, and the swing set was not bolted or ground to the ground there. And as Mr. Packett jumped off, the swing set came tumbling down and hit him right in his head. And he got one of those eggs on the top of his head, one of those big knots that you would see in the Looney Tunes.
Did you laugh?
No, I think I was concerned for him. And it was at that point it bonded our friendship.
And I've never been the same since.
Yeah, you gave him a concussion. It's like a 5-year-old. He has never been the same mentally since then. His mom came over and I think picked him up. And that was the end of Gas Bomb for the day. And we've been friends ever since.
Joe gave me, we've been best friends ever since Joe gave me CTE in 5th grade. That's good. Thank you, Joe.
We're with Radio Rick, who gets back-to-back picks.
I guess I'll take Bixler.
Yeah. Josh Bixler is off the board.
And I'll take Nate Good.
Mr. Packett, you're up.
I'll take Mercer's defense.
Mercer County's defense is off the board. Team Center Communications.
Bullitt East defense.
Ooh. You all hear that, Danville?
Go Ads.
What do you want them to win, like 2-0 tonight?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, you don't have any we have Braden Bothman. 2-0. Braden Bothman gets
197 yards on the ground, 180 through the air.
And he gets tackled at the 1 every time.
Every time.
Every time he gets tackled at the 1, and the Admirals can't convert.
That seems highly unlikely.
Team me, I'm up. I need defense, wide receivers, things of that nature. Give me Titus Weldon.
Titus, well done.
Well done, Titus. Landon Yates. And also give me...
You taking 3?
All right, Team Center Communications.
Austin Wilson, wide receiver, beast.
Mr. Packett, you're up.
I'll take the Mercer kicker.
That's Jace Kokenauer or Gavin Wilson. We're going to go Jace Kokenauer. He's the one who kicks the extra points, right? Isn't that correct?
Yes. The other one kicks field goals.
Or Jace Coco, as I abbreviate him on my fantasy draft board. Radio Rick, back-to-back.
Give me Liberty or give me Casey County's defense.
That was good because they're playing Liberty. Casey County's defense is off the board.
And Caleb Wiltshire.
Caleb Wiltshire is off the board. Danville's kicker, Mr. Packett, running back or flex? Could both be the same.
I'll take Ryan Still.
All right, Mr. Packett picked Ryan Still. Team Norton Center, what are you going with?
Colin Elder.
Colin Elder. Ooh. I mean, I wanted Colin Elder. That's okay, though. Zach Daly is a really good kicker for Garrard County.
Yeah, the extra kick now.
Yeah, the kick now. And I don't think he's missing an extra point this year. I was going to go Garrard County as well. Anyway, Rick went Casey County, which makes my decision even easier. So I'll go Garrard County's defense against McCurry. Yeah. Okay, my team's done. You need a quarterback. Team Center Communications.
I'm going to go with Justin Parson.
That's Garrard County's quarterback, Justin Parson, is off the board. Mr. Packett needs a flex.
I'll take Jack Zwerneman.
Jack Zwerneman. I didn't know Z and W could even be together for any type of word. But here we have Jack Zwerneman.
If we're playing Scrabble, Packett wins.
I mean, that's an all-time Scrabble word. Imagine getting some double points. Jack Zwerneman's off the board. Radio Rick needs a running back, and we're done.
Give me Xavier Brown.
And just like that, Rick has a chance to beat Packett in the Scrabble contest.
Yes, Xavier will be a great name as well in the Fantasy Football Scrabble contest. We're out of our misery now. We're finally over this draft. Radio Rick went first at Ethan Willoughby, Josh Mixler, Xavier Brown are running backs, Nolan Davenport, Gunnar Floyd at wide receivers, Nate Gudas flex, Caleb Wilcher the kicker, Casey County Rebel defense is defense. He's going against Mr. Packett, who has Travis Egan at quarterback, Maury Brown, Ryan Still at running backs, Cameron Brogan, Ashton Drakeford wide receivers, Jack Zwerneman is his flex, Jace Coco is his kicker, and Mercer County is his defense. I'm against Center Communications. That's Matt. Justin Parson is Matt's quarterback. Mason Gauthier and Denham Griffith, the running backs. Solomon Stoney and Austin Wilson, the wide receivers. Braden Boffman, the flex. Colin Elder, the kicker. Bullet East is his defense. And for me, I've got Thaddeus Mays at quarterback. Malachi Simmons, Cameron Peak at running backs. Landon Yates, Titus Weldon, wide receivers. Evan Stevens, my flex. Zach Daly, my kicker. And the Golden Leon defense is my defense. That leaves no one left for Derek, but he has to somehow fill out a roster with what he's got.
Jakeem Ray, running back Jacob Glancy, and I'll also take Landon Davis.
Garrard County's third running back.
Wide receiver Bryce Hoover out of Bullet East. Luke Spangler from Casey County.
Yep.
Wide receiver Wade Lane is my flex. I will skip a defense.
Yeah, don't blame you.
And kicker, Casey County, name to be determined.
Yeah, they don't even have a kicker.
Good luck, everybody.
Radio Rick?
What?
Go ahead, end us out. Send us home, please.
Good luck, everybody.
More Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show is coming up on the Hometown Radio Network.
Here at Zaxby's, we have perfectly paired all of our sauces to go with our hand-breaded chicken fingers. Seriously, it's science. Each flavor profile is in perfect harmony with each other. The crisp, zesty notes of honey mustard, the full, rounded, bold flavor of buffalo garlic blaze, the elegant, spicy smoke of Tug Torch. All the perfect pair to our famous chicken fingers. Test them out for yourself and grab some extra napkins. Select one from our 12 sauce options. There's endless sauce abilities, only at Zaxby's.
Great! See, we're practically sitting on the field. If you could sit here.
Your food and drinks will be right over.
Oh, yes! For the same price as way up here. Great seats. Right up here with a blimp. Why wouldn't you? It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys.
See your State Farm agent in Harrisburg, David Hopewell, and Randy Couch. In Danville, see Bob Miller.
Hey folks, this is Duke Owens, General Manager here at Cartown Kia in Nicholasville. You know, folks are complaining daily about supply chains and inventory. We don't have that problem. We have new Kias arriving daily. We have a great selection of Kias from Tellurides, Sorrentos, Sportages, Celtos, Souls, K5s, and Fortes. And remember, we have over 20 lenders that want to approve you. Come and see us here at Cartown Kia or look us up online at cartownkiausa.com.
While supplies last with approved credit, see dealer for details and availability.
Good evening. Welcome to week number 5 of Packett's Picks. This segment where Packett picks. Good evening, Packett. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Joe?
I'm doing just fine, fun and dandy, Mr. Packett. Appreciate you being on again. You are on your way to Oxford, Mississippi for the Cats and the Ole Miss Rebels, and we'll talk about that game in just a minute. Before we get there, Mr. Packett, you were 10-6 going into last week's action to the first 16 games of the season that you picked. So you've had better starts. You were hoping, at least going into last week, that you could improve on your 10-6 record. So let's see how you did, Mr. Packett. First of all, some of the easier games that you picked last week included Mercer County and Christian Academy of Louisville, Mr. Packett. You had Cal 55-7. Can you tell me who won that game, please?
It was Cal who won.
Yes.
I almost had the score right.
Yeah, you almost did have a score right. The final score of that game between Cal and Mercer County was 51-7. I think you had 55-6 or something like that, and it was 51-7. So you're pretty good on the Vegas spread, the Packett spread on that one. You were 1-0 last week. Boyle County was hosting North Hardin, Mr. Packett, a game you had the Rebels winning pretty handily. Can you tell me who won that game, please?
Boyle County.
And they did it handily. 65-14, I think, was the final score of that one, Mr. Packett. 2-0 going into last week. Casey County played Taylor County last week, Mr. Packett, and you're on the Casey County Rebel train, and Mrs. Packett is happy about that. You had them winning their 5th in a row over Taylor County. Can you tell me who won that game, please?
It was Casey County.
It was 32-12. Mr. Packett, 3-0 last week. And the final game you picked, Lincoln County was at Southwestern. You had the Warriors rolling over the Lincoln County Patriots. Can you tell me who won that game, please?
It was the Warriors.
The Warriors, and look at that, Mr. Packett. You said beginning last week, you were going to rebound. Things are going to improve for you, and you're 4-0, your first perfect week of the season, which puts you at 14-6, Mr. Packett. So from 10-6 to 14-6, you got 3 games to pick this week, and who's to know, Mr. Packett, could be looking at 17-6 by the time we talk again next week.
Hey, that'd be pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah, from pretty average to pretty good. You can do that in a 2-week span. So let's talk about those games this week. First of all, I am in Mount Washington, Mr. Packett. I've never been to Bullitt East High School. I've known some people that graduate from Bullitt East High School. I've known some UK players that graduate from Bullitt East High School, Mr. Packett. Can you name a UK basketball player from Bullitt East?
Derek Willis.
Derek Willis is the one I was thinking of, yes. I've never been here, though. I'm in the Derek Willis land right now. Admirals, Bullitt East Chargers, big 6A school, Mr. Packett. This was a game last season that Danville trailed 14-13 at the end of the first quarter, and then Bullitt East ravaged off 48 unanswered. Did the Admirals have a chance tonight? Pick it, Packett. Who do you got?
No, the program's been struggling a little bit, Joe. I think the loss to Atherton really hurt them last week. I'm going to take Bullitt East 34-10.
34-10, Bullitt East over Danville, which would drop the Admirals to 2-4 through 6 games and would give them 4 losses in a row.
Yeah, they started good, but some of the teams they were playing, it appears, weren't as good as they thought.
Yes. Yeah, so Mr. Packett, you've got Bullitt East over Danville. Game number 2, Mr. Packett's got Casey County. Everyone's favorite. The Casey County Rebels, been tracking them all season long. They are hosting Wayne County tonight, Mr. Packett. This is a 4A school versus a 3A school in Casey County. Casey right now is number 10 in the RPI. A win tonight would more than likely bump them up because they're playing an upper, higher class team. Can the Rebels make it 6 in a row? Pick it, Packett. Who do you got?
Give me Wayne County by 7.
And a close one. The Wayne County Cardinals defeat Casey County.
Yeah, Wayne County beat Rockcastle County, and Casey County lost to them. So I'm going to use that logic and say Wayne County might get this win.
Yeah, it's the only logic you can use in that case. And Mrs. Packett says you're sleeping on the couch tonight.
That's okay.
The couch is warm, too, with a blanket, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It absolutely is. Mr. Packett's got Casey County falling to Wayne County. Game number 3, Garrard County, Mr. Packett, is at McCreary Central. So the Golden Lions, who got their first win of the season 2 weeks ago, a bye week last week, Cameron Peak is back, Malachi Simmons is still there. They open up district play at McCreary Central. Pick it, Packett. Who do you got?
Whew, this is another tough one. But I'm going to get the Golden Lions 2 wins in a row. Garrard County 28, McCreary Central 13.
I always have this, I don't want to say disdain. Disdain's not the word. But when I think McCreary Central, I always have this negative thought pops in my head because that, Mr. Packett, is the place where our senior high school baseball season ended in the first round of region was at McCreary Central to Mercer County. They beat us 2-1. Again, it wasn't even McCreary Central who we played, but it was at McCreary Central, and that's the first thing that always pops in my head.
Well, that's not a good thought.
It's not.
It didn't have anything to do with that.
And you know what? Again, I mentioned McCreary Central, and that's all I was thinking of, so much so I didn't even hear who you picked. So who did you pick again?
Garrard County.
Oh, good. Well, good.
8-13.
Absolutely, Mr. Packett, and they are building a statue of you in Bryant'sville. Right there near Shell gas station, the Rocky Top gas station. There's going to be a statue of Mr. Packett because the Golden Lions are 1-0 in district play.
Yes, sir.
Hard to argue against that. In the final game, Mr. Packett, Mercer County at Western Hills. Titans got it handed to them last week. Now they get to go against one of the weaker teams in this district. Do the Titans rebound this week? Pick it, Packett. Who do you got?
Mercer County's going to rebound 48-15.
48-15, the Titans over Western Hills, and Packett has picked. He's got Bullitt East over Danville. He has got Wayne County over Casey County. He's got Garrard County over McCreary Central. He's got Mercer County over Western Hills. And now, Packett, do you want me to pick?
Yes, I want you to pick, Joe. Who's going to win, Kentucky or Ole Miss?
You're going down to Ole Miss, Mr. Packett. The Cats are 4-0, and I'm 4-0, picking every single week the Cats to win. And guess what? You're not going to Ole Miss for no reason.
That's right.
You're going to Ole Miss because you're going to go watch the Cats win. And I'm rooting for the Cats to win because you're down there, and I want Kentucky to win while you're there. So I'm not picking against the Cats, Mr. Packett. Will Levis throws for 300 yards and 2 scores. And Chris Rodriguez in his first game back, 127 rushing yards and 2 scores. And Kentucky wins 28-25. They win by a field goal.
Wow, that sounds like a good game.
And your heart will beat to the tune of 1,000 drums because you will be absolutely nervous while that game is going on with the Cats in a slim 3-point lead. But they're going to make you walk out of that stadium grinning like a bushel bucket full of possum heads.
That's exactly right.
And the Cats win, Mr. Packett. Safe travels to Oxford. And I'll be looking for you on TV tomorrow. I may even be hearing you screaming in the back of Tom Leach's broadcast. And I'll recognize that Packett scream because I've heard it before at Kroger Field. And the Cats are winning for you. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Have a good night, Joe.
All right, Packett. Bye. More Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show is coming up on the Hometown Radio Network.
This is Caraway and Adeline at Mattresses and More, next door to Ace Hardware on Houstonville Road in Danville. If you are looking for new furniture or bedding, stop by and check us out. New merchandise arriving weekly, and we sell off the floor. Come see our Nana for the best deal around. You'll be glad you did.
Mattresses and More than a mattress store, located in Danville. Phone 859-236-1646 and like them on Facebook at Mattresses and More.
Great. See, we're practically sitting on the field. If you could sit here.
Your food and drinks will be right over.
Oh, yes. For the same price as way up here. Great seats. Right up here with a blimp. Why wouldn't you? It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys.
See your State Farm agent in Harrisburg, David Hopewell, and Randy Couch. In Danville, see Bob Miller.
Hi, this is Jenny Holland, owner of the Danville Nutrition Center. At the Nutrition Center, our commitment to quality and integrity guides every aspect of our business. You can trust our Nutrigold line of certified clean, organic, whole food vitamins such as plant-based vitamins D3, C Gold, Zinc Gold for your immune system. Nutrigold vitamins will be on sale every day to help you and your family stay healthy. We are located on 4th Street next to Sears. Danville Nutrition Center, big enough to serve, small enough to care.
Well, that's it for week number 5 of the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show. We are back in action with you live next Friday. We are back at home, I believe. That's the Danville-Somerset game, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have Danville-Somerset next Friday right here on the Hometown Radio Network. Until then, peace, love, and Zaxby's, and we'll see you next Friday on the Zaxby's High School Football Preview Show.
This is the talk of the town, AM 1230, and now on FM 103.9, WHIR Danville, powered by Kentucky WiMAX.
It's 7 o'clock.